welcome to the Vent, Rebuild, Refocus podcast presented by We Chat Here. I'm your host, That Boy Reckless, and this is the Refocus series. Our Refocus series is everything to do with transforming aimless thoughts, aimless activity into meaningful actions. Today we're going to tackle one of the most profound aimless actions that we all do, whether we realize it or not. Strolling, social media strolling is a pandemic. We all do it. I don't know how long you guys do it. However, I call it doomsday strolling, to where we may look at a notification and then a half hour later or even 2 hours later, we just strolling, looking at our news feeds. We've done nothing productive. However, it started off just by looking at a notification. So how do we correct such a behavior? How do we curb such a behavior that plagues us? Because at the end of the day, we could actually be doing something that's way more beneficial with 2 hours, a half hour, 15 minutes to add to our marketability, to add to our skill set, to add to our personal development, our business developments. So the first step is going to be to recognize, when is it occurring? If you don't know your enemy, how could you defeat him? So let's take a look. So we're going to start off by recognizing when we're caught in a cycle of unproductive social media use. Social media is designed to keep us engaged with endless content, but often this leads to aimless strolling with no real benefit. Think about this. You pick up your phone, you check your notification, and before you know it, 20 minutes deep in the video, like about puppies, about nothing that you really started off with. It happens all the time. So you gotta ask yourself, how often do I do this? How often do I find myself mindlessly strolling through social media? What am I looking for? This awareness, right? The realizing that I'm actually strolling aimless, this awareness is the first step to regaining control. Like I said, you have to know your enemy to defeat your enemy. If you don't realize, I'm wasting all this time, I'm plagued by social media strolling, I'm on Facebook looking at the news feeds, I'm going through everybody's stories, and I have done nothing productive. If you don't know that, you're always gonna fall into that cycle. So we gotta be mindful. This whole series is about reclaiming our time, reclaiming our time of aimless activity, into putting it into something productive that's really gonna move our needle forward. And that's what this whole series is about. And like I say, this installment, it's prevalent because we all are victims of doomsday strolling. So, in some of the ways to curtail doomsday strolling is, let's create a plan. Understand, to transform your thoughts into actionable steps. So here, I'm gonna just give you a few strategies that I use to help me first and foremost, I set specific times to go on social media. I don't. It's not just. It's not just at my fingertips all the time, right? I have designated times that I set for X amount of time um, throughout the day. First and foremost, that you have to be disciplined though. It's not easy to say, you know what, I'm only gonna be on Facebook for 10 minutes from 5:30 to 5:40. That's my Facebook time for that particular hour, right? 7:30 to 7:45, I'm gonna do 15 minutes. I'm gonna check XYZ, and after that, I'm off it. You have to be real disciplined to do such a thing, which, I mean, you can do it, especially if you're in the personal development stage. If you're in the self-finding and personal development, you're going to want to take a lot of your time that you're giving to social media with no benefit and have that time benefit yourself. So instead of checking your social media accounts throughout the day, set specific times to catch up. Also, you can use app blockers. There are numerous apps available that can help you limit your social media usage. Apps like Stay Focused, Freedom, Forest, all these apps are like app blockers to where, just like your D&D button, it's just like that for social media. So if you guys need help with the discipline stage and you need a reinforcement, get some of these app blockers. Also, replace strolling with proactive activities. Identify activities that align with your goals and that are rewarding than mindless strolling. So, for instance, if you like outlets, you could be doing some sketching, some artwork. If you're into fitness, instead of strolling on social media, you can get a 20-minute workout, or the amount of time that you're going to be strolling, you could be doing something that's going to move that needle forward in that endeavor. Understand? So if you want to write a book, I'm not going to be on social media. I'm going to be, putting pen to paper to get the book moving forward. We all victims. But before I set my limit on social media, I would find myself in that transition of, all right, I'm going to just check this notification real quick. And then I'm on ESPN all day. I'm watching the Knicks draft. I'm watching, all type of various things that really is unproductive. Did nothing for me the whole day. Understand? So after you realize, okay, you identified, you recognize, you create a plan of attack. The next stage, which we all struggle, even with our apps, right? We got the apps, we set the plan is in place. We have to be accountable for our action plan. Nobody else is gonna do it for us. We have to do it. We have to, after we realize and after we create our plan of attack, we have to execute. Nobody is gonna be your executor. A lot of people wanna put things off always on others, but in this Refocus series, whatever you're going through, whatever you have to refocus on, and these are just various topics, but if you have an individual focus, you have to be accountable for it. Nobody else is. So we got to put our, what they say, big big trousers on, and let's get it. Let's go to work, because if you're not gonna do it, who gonna do it for you? This ain't a hand-me world. So accountability is key. Making lasting changes. And then at the end of the day, you could share your goals with a friend. You could join a community that supports you. And community is always big, right? Because we may feel we go through things alone, but we really don't. It'd be 10 other people doing the same thing, or have the same ailments, or have the same problems and thoughts. And what we do, we isolate ourselves, because we be like, all right, nobody else going through what I'm going through. I'm the only one going through it. And it's like, yo, man, get in line. Like, humble yourself a little bit. Like, you're not the only person that goes through anything. It's okay. Tom, Dick, and Harry, Mary, Sue, and Jane is going through the same stuff. You just have to be receptive to getting into that community and expressing yourself. Like, hey, I've been doomsday strolling. How do I get out of that? What have you done, or what are you doing to alleviate and to reduce your social media doomsday strolling? And I call it doomsday strolling because it's really unproductive. It's all entertainment. Just imagine watching a marathon from movie to movie to movie to movie to movie the whole day. No work done. It's all entertainment. Yeah, that's gonna catch up with you. That's gonna be a doomsday device, because at the end of the day, if it's all entertainment and there's nothing productive, unless you trying to be a circus clown, that's the only person that entertains all day. So unless you're trying to be a clown and that's your mentor, entertainment, then we really gotta start putting some positive gains, whether it be intellect, whether it be know-how videos, financial literacy. It's a lot of things that we could we could get apps like Udemy to where they teach you things. Of course, YouTube. Instead of strolling aimlessly on YouTube, you can learn from YouTube by whatever your niche is. You can go, you can look at these videos and you can learn. So also, like, social media isn't bad. I'm not bashing social media. I'm bashing the usage, how we use it, or rather misuse it. Understand? Social media is a platform. It's resourceful. However, if we're just strolling for entertainment all day, that's not gonna be advantageous to us. So we definitely wanna buckle down on the doomsday strolling. And like I say, that support system is always great to have. You just be mindful. You put your support system in place. They don't pick you, you pick them. So, and I say this because you could pick a person, right, for support, and you could give them all your keys, meaning whatever they say, you're gonna harp on. So you gotta be mindful of who you pick, just so, hey, if you get a bad report, if you ask something and they tell you the truth of the matter, you gotta be able to accept that, and don't try to balk against it. Absolutely. So, and then you can also, watch this, you can also, you can have a friend decide to reduce social media usage and replace it with reading. Like, you could start what they call it, a book club, right? So instead of strolling on social media all day, you can say, you know what, I'm gonna get a group of guys, I'm gonna get a group of gals, and we're gonna do a book club rather than we're gonna go on D&D for this a lot of time, this amount of time. We're gonna allot time and space. We're gonna get our books out and we're gonna do book readings. Understand? You guys, you check your weekly progress on it. Mutual support for an endeavor is really a big motivational gain. When you guys, when people lock in for a similar endeavor because they going through similar struggles and they have similar patterns, it's easier to make the change. A group effort is easier than an individual effort. Just to, Also, we got many productivity apps that can help track your time and keep you focused. You gotta utilize these tools to stay accountable and monitor your progress. Sometimes just knowing someone else is keeping an eye on your progress makes a big difference, right? So just like that support system is like, I told this person this is what I'm about to do, and as I'm going through the journey, they're checking like, hey, are you doing what you? That is gonna motivate you to keep your word. A lot of people are, all they got in their life is they balls and they word. Quoting Scarface, I understand. Quoting Scarface is a Scarface quote. So all they got is they balls and they word, right? So if you tell somebody, listen, I'm reducing my social media strolling, and they're locked in with you, and then you relapse a little bit, and they on you like, hey, listen, hey, you just said you're not gonna be doing that. That's gonna implore you to keep that word. So tell a friend, get that support system, and like I just said, it's gonna move your needle forward to say, hey, I want to keep my word. I want to be accountable for my actions, and to get out of the rut of doomsday strolling. Like I say, that's so, man, it's a pandemic because it's easy to do. These news feeds be so entertaining. You got the shootouts, you got the fights, you got the gossip, you got whatever at your fingertips and whatever platform, and it's captivating and it's time consuming. So if you're not cognitive, if you're not realizing, hey, I just spent an hour and a half, I just spent 3 hours just strolling on feeds. If that is not alarming to you, then you good. Like, you don't even gotta. You could watch the Rebuild series, or you could watch something else that's gonna entertain you. But if you're in a pattern of, what, I could be doing something more productive, take heed. Like I say, recognize, create your plan, and then take accountability for your plan. So when we reflect, right? Because after you take your accountability, that means you're executing your plan now. So after the execution of the plan, we have to reflect on what's going on in these steps so we could keep the progress going. So regularly review your progress and adjust your approach as needed. Take a few minutes at the end of each day to reflect were you able to stay off social media and focus on your endeavors and your goals? Or what strategies work best for you? Reflect on this, because you could help somebody else. Like, you could say, hey, this, you going through this? All right, this is what I did to get out of that, right? This reflection helps learn from your experiences and continuously improve your approach. Remember, every small step forward is progress. And at WeChat here, small progress is to be celebrated. Small milestones is to be celebrated. Always celebrate your achievements. Always. There's nothing too little that you can't celebrate. A lot of people, like I say, they just like to do home run activity. No, get on base. Understand? Get on base. So in conclusion, to wrap up, aimless strolling on social media is a habit many of us have. But recognizing it, setting clear goals, creating a plan, staying accountable, and regularly reflecting, you can transform that into something meaningful. It's not about eliminating social media entirely, but it's about using it in a way that aligns with your goals and values. So it's not about eliminating it, but it's about using it so it can align with your goals and values. It's one thing to use something, and it's another to misuse something, right? So we need to use social media to align with our goals and values, and not misuse it by doomsday strolling. And here's the challenge. Always gonna be a challenge. And that's for you guys to identify when you're doomsday strolling. And to replace that activity, replace your doomsday strolling with an activity that is gonna move whatever endeavor, whatever goal that you have set forward. Period. And always encourage the next man, always encourage the next female to share. They, like I say, they could be going through the same thing. Y'all could be in the same household. Everybody on social media strolling. And you're the one that it dawned on, like, yo, we just spending too much time on social media. Let's do something collective. Let's start a bank collective. Let's start putting money towards something. Let's get some land. And your experience is definitely gonna move the needle for somebody else. So yeah, make sure you comment, like, share, subscribe. I'm just giving tidbits. I'm just giving back, understand, because I was a doomsday stroller at one point. And yeah. So let's get it. Live life, love life, pursue happiness fearlessly. Get off them strolls. Get off them strolls. Get off them strolls.